So guys, welcome back to another Python class with a self-dev community. And today I don't even know what episode we are in, but I know we are at task number 11, and now we are moving over to task number 12. So I assume it's number 12. And guys, welcome back to Taz and Monet, especially because they haven't been here. And that's why I want to introduce you to the agenda for today, but also welcome to all the other guys like Afro, Adam, Johnny, and Hungry Mood, of course. So feel free to check out this agenda which I prepared for you today, and it won't be painful today. So today you will just you can lean back and just listen because we won't code much, and it's the same like I did before. Like. Before I actually started recording that, I asked you guys to do some sound check, right? And just to avoid some future issues. And that's the same which we also have to do when we start doing or like coding actually, right? Especially creating or working with ETL pipelines. And that's what we are going to do today. So I will just review task number 11 from Johnny quickly, and then we just review very fast the ETL and RDBMS, if you know what that means, like the Relational Database Management System. So that's basically just the long form of relational database. And then we will discuss, or I want to give you or pass on my knowledge to you guys, what I learned when starting building ETL pipelines. Okay, but to do that, we just do a review on ETL, and to do that, we just jump back to the database task which Johnny did. So let me check what we have here. So those guys are here, and the weekly tasks are down here. Okay, I don't know if you can read that, but this one was pretty, I think, easy going, if I can say it like that. And the first one was just to recap what databases are and what is SQL or SQL, and then what is PG admin for and Postgres. So I just can show what Johnny did, because Johnny is currently the top tier here. He's the highest rank because he has been around.
Stop over exaggerating, man. What the fuck?
You have to
People
call
have
the things by its
expectations.
name, man. You have to own it, okay? So, first of all, where is the task? Is it in main or master?
Master, I changed it.
Master, okay. So let's check it out. Task number 11. Nice dayo. So, guys, this task was committed to the databases, and as you can remember, I just wanted to make Johnny write it down for himself. Did it actually help you, Johnny?
Yeah, it will also help me for the future whenever I need to reread it or whatever.
Exactly. Because when I ask you those questions, I don't want you to just think about yourself and then write something down without knowing if this is right or not, right? So my goal is that you do some research, read about that. Because, for example, I never did such a thing. I never Googled, okay, what is PostgreSQL or something. It was more like, hey, we have a code interview long, and we are talking about Postgres. And I'm like, dude, what is Postgres, man? I just know MySQL. And then I had to Google what is Postgres, and then I just learned that by doing it. And for you guys, it's a little bit easier because I know what's important, and that's why I just want you to write it down like Johnny did here in task 11 database.txt. So I also can copy this one for you, and paste it in discussion just so you also see it right now. And I read through all of that, and I think it's pretty clear what all that is. You guys can do it on your own if you want, because remember, what I try to teach you here is not hard skills, but the soft skills, because the hard skills you can learn from all the people on the internet, Udemy, all the people who actually sit down and thought how to formulate that and how to think about those questions which can help them to practice those hard skills, like how to write the for loop, how to connect to Postgres and all that stuff. I mean, I also can do that for you, but then I can't tell you the actual more important stuff, which is like the things which those Udemy courses or tutorials don't tell you. I mean, some probably do, but you get the idea. And you can just read it here if you want. But of course, don't just read it and then, okay, think that you understood it. Of course, you understand it because you read it, right? And the most important part actually is that you internalize it by yourself. That's why just write it for yourself. Have it in your own repository as well, right? And for those who don't know, we just covered the databases, and we had two different types of databases, which were the relational databases and the NoSQL databases, or NoSQL just like that, because back then they actually differentiated those two terms, but now this NoSQL term established itself as its own thing, you know. But yeah, and so those are just the two types of databases which we will cover in this class, which we have for now. But we will first focus on relational database because they are way easier to understand, because I don't want you guys to learn another language just to use a specific tool or something, right? And I think most of you also have heard about relational databases like MySQL or something, and also SQL, which actually is the structured query language, as you can tell, which basically helps you to communicate with databases. Because if you want to write code and you want to automate something, you use Python, right? And for databases, it's just SQL. And I wanted Johnny to research about specific commands because I believe those are the most important ones in the beginning, which are select, from, where, and insert. And Johnny did a great job with just listing them here. And also Postgres is here. You can see it's an object relational database, a place to manage databases, a place to create databases. Yeah, Johnny, that's actually the definition where you can manage, manipulate, and do everything related to databases. So actually managing also means that you can create, delete them, or just whatever you want, man. And also we have pgadmin 4, which is a software actually to give Postgres a user interface, because Postgres is just the database itself where you keep all the records, or like the data which you collected somewhere, right? And pgadmin is the place where you can open this software, so you have to download it, and then you can just connect your database or create it, and then you can see all those tables. Because if you don't do that, you don't know how to connect to it. It's like Git. Like, you remember when you use Git, you always say git stash, no, maybe git add, git commits, and git pull or something, right, in your terminal. And that's what you actually could do with Postgres as well, just like that. But if you want to see it, like what kind of files did you upload here, for example? So how do you do that? You go to Git or github.com, where they provide this user interface. And pgadmin does the same for PostgreSQL. Okay? That's just the thing which you need to understand for now, and that's just the basic or like the task which I wanted you to cover. And that's why when you don't know anymore, just go back to this one and reread it. But of course, when you do this task, try to write it with your own words, because of course you can copy paste it, but this is not, I don't want you to copy paste it. I want you to understand it, that you actually understand all those different pieces, how they fit together. You know, I think this is the most important part. Like, as you can see here, those pieces, they just put like fall into the place, and then it becomes part of the big picture. And that's what I'm trying to make you do on your own. Okay? So let's go back here and see what is task number 11. Oops. What is that? So I think the task was here down below, where I asked you to actually create some or write some Python code where you could connect to the database. But for today, it's not that important because we just cover some theory. And if you really need help to understand how Postgres or pgadmin works, just ask in the discussion channel. Johnny can help you out, or I just can help you out. But there are a lot of tutorials which cover that, because I believe those consider to the hard skills, because you just have to Google how to install Postgres or how to install pgadmin, and then you get it. So I don't need to cover this. But what's more important is the next part. And just before we go over that, I just want to give you a quick rundown on that one. So you basically have your database somewhere, like for example, you have Git, right? Your GitHub repository, which is here. So let's go here and go down and draw something. So normally you had, this is your GitHub cloud, where I today found out that you have 221 million repositories owned by Microsoft, and out of 221 million, you have 28 million private, no, not private, public repositories. Just so you know, because I did some research about GitHub Copilot, this AI assistant which helps you to write code, which I totally recommend to use. That's like your GitHub repository, which exists somewhere on the internet, because GitHub, aka Microsoft, just have their servers and they host all the code, right? And then we have somebody here, maybe Tess or Monet, I don't know. And then they here sit on their computer. Oh my God, what a big screen. And of course you have your code here somewhere. Oops, oh my God. Can you see that actually? Oh my God, this is so bad. Wait. This is code. This is some code. And then you use Git to connect to your account, which is, for example, Tess or so. This is Tess GitHub repository. Sorry. And Tess wants to connect to this one, right? And then you write git push, and then you already have it connected somehow to your specific repository, and then you can do that. Or you say git pull, and then you just can get it down, right? So that's the basic workflow which we have learned so far. Oops, and like this, and you can go down. So that's the normal way. And now we want to do the same, but this time it's not GitHub. Where's my eraser? Oh my God, I need to remove this as well. This time we don't want to have GitHub, but we want PostgreSQL. So this is your database somewhere, like Postgres is your database. And it's existing somewhere on the internet, because you have a server running somewhere. Or for example, I have a VPS running, like a virtual private server from server space, and then they just exist there, and then I can connect to them. And then that's what we are having right now. Oh my God. Yeah, that's here. And then you are here again, and you try to send some data to this Postgres. And that's what Johnny or the task was about. And to do that, you have to use specific packages, which is called, for example, wait, can I write here? psychopg2, I think. Was it like that, Johnny?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, psychopg. So if, oh my God, if you go psychopg2, so you can see that, and then you can see this. This is actually the package, which helps you to connect to to connect to Postgres if you have a database running. But the thing now here is, of course, this would be on a on a server, right? So it's like on a server, like because that's how also Git works, and they have it hosted somewhere. But you also can create it locally. And what does it mean? Or like, let's keep it local. Local means you can host it also on your own computer. And to do that, you have to download Postgres, and then you need to visualize it somehow, and that's why you go and say the PostgreSQL, you download it, and then you go in pgadmin 4 as well. And then you have it run on your computer. So let's say this is here, and then this part is part on your computer. It's like, imagine it's like a hard drive, and you just roll it out, and then it exists there, and it tells you, okay, those are the how to say it? Those are the logins where you can use and connect to my database actually. And then you use Python code here and connect to this database. And that's what Johnny did in this task. And if you can see here, you can see he used Psycho PG2 and also his own module, because I asked him to practice creating modules, like outsourcing your code into another file. And wait, let me actually turn it into an IDE so we actually can see that. So I just press dot on my keyboard, so you can see that it turned into an IDE again. And oh my goodness, can I make it bigger? Please, yes, I can. So you see, here's a connector file, and then Johnny created a folder which is called DB modules here on this one. And in that one, you have DB module pro, which is this one here, this term. And if I click on it, you can see he has a function in it which is called create table. And that's why it also somewhere says create table. No, you didn't use it yet. Okay, no problem.
But it works. It works when you try it.
Okay. No problem. But yeah, that's basically the task, and that was the task. So he did everything right. So he used the top level environment, which you all should use when you write those scripts. And then you open this connection with this command by this function from Psycho PG2, like this. And then you use connect function. And if you want to know how to use that, remember what you have to do. Go to the homepage or the documentation here from Psycho PG2, if you can see that, documentation. And then you see, for example, here, okay, the contents, and then it tells you, okay, how to install it, blah, blah, blah. Connect maybe somewhere here, the connect class, or connect and curl, whatever. Look into this file, and then you can see what it actually does. So here you can see Psycho PG, and somehow it connects with something. So you get a direction where it goes, and then you can find on Stack Overflow some more examples, and then you maybe, hopefully, end up in something like this. And I won't go too deep into this one, because I think that's something which you guys need to do by yourself. But actually, it's pretty explained, because you have this function from PsychoPG, and then it just has different parameters. And that's how you actually connect to many databases, like in the same way. You always have to define the host, and then the DB name, user, password. And if you go to this module, which Johnny created, you can see that those variables are written here. So he saved it into this one. Like, for example, the hostname is local host, because it's local on your own host. And then he has a database, which is called playground. So you actually also could write playground here. Oh no, you could say playground. Oh my god, playground, right? But the reason why we create it like this or modularize it is that when you want to change it, you don't need to open your code and say, okay, I need to go to my connector file, my main file, and then, oh, wait. this is my database. My database is now playground 2. Oh shit, I have to make it as a string. Oops. And then I do it like this. So this is what you want to avoid. You want to keep it clean so you know, okay, this is the file where I change it. I go here, I say playground serious project. Yeah. For example. Okay? So that's just the task. And then Johnny created a table using Python. So he used, let's go back to this one. He used Python to connect to this local database and created a table. Because normally, for example, what we did in GitHub, github.com. So what you did, for example, here is you go into repository and then you say, for example, no, I can't do it here. So let's say here you go into my repositories and let's say I have this code here, this code NFT alert or whatever that is. And what you normally do is, like, imagine you want to create a new file and then you say, okay, I want to add a file or something. I create a new file, upload it here. That's what you do with the UI, right? The user interface here. And you also can do that with the database. So when you have pgadmin opened, pgadmin 4, so I just show you how it looks like. It basically, yeah, looks like this, if you can see that. This is pgadmin. So here on the left side, you can see all the tables and all the functions and all that stuff, which is important for databases, but you don't need to understand all of them. And that's why you actually could go, you could right click and create a new function, like you also, like a new database, where you also could do the same here in Git. But instead of always creating new files in Git, what we actually don't do, right? We create it locally and then push it to GitHub, right? And that's what we also do in this scenario. So we have Python code, and then we want to say create. Yeah, this is the command where you create a table. Maybe you don't understand what that actually means right now, but that's no big issue. You just need to understand that we created a database from Python, which has been generated in Postgres itself. So you now have two ways how to create databases or how manipulate them, okay? That's basically your biggest takeaway for this task. And Johnny already did so much more, which I didn't expect, which is really cool. But I will cover that with Johnny after this class. So we don't...
because I misunderstood your task.
No worries, no worries. I think it still goes into a direction because it doesn't matter if you really miss it or not, because it just counts that you do something, and then I can see why you thought like that, and then I explain to you what it actually meant, what I said. But for you, Johnny, one thing which is missing, which I'm very sad about, is that you didn't copy the task at the top of this one like we always did.
Okay, I'm a failure.
Because you remember, I always told you guys, copy this thing and put it here at the top. So I don't have to go back, or anybody else has to go back and check it out. Can I come? Oh man, I even can use it here. Amazing. So that's how it would have perfectly looked like. But yeah, that's basically how it is right now. And now we just go back. We close all of this. Beep, beep. And we go back to this one. So we just reviewed task number 11. Fine. Guys, do you have any questions so far? Time to drink.
Yep, all good from my side.
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, you also just can write it into the conference room here or in discussion, whatever you want. I don't know. But yes, okay, then let's just review this quickly, and then we go over to creating our first, we actually think about how we start creating our first ETL pipeline, you know? Because just understanding what an ETL pipeline is, this is the easy part. But actually working on it and building a scalable ETL pipeline, that's the hard part, okay? So I think I have something here. Yeah, exactly. So those are the phases what we discussed last time, and this is called the ETL pipeline for those who haven't been here or didn't watch the recordings yet. So this ETL pipeline consists of 3 phases, which is the extract phase, E, and then we have T for transform and L for load. And that is basically just a term to describe different processes in your whole big process. And the first one is just extracting, where you take all the data from different data sources, which could be endless, so it doesn't have to be one only. And then when you have different data sources, you have to transform them. Like if you can see this one, they have, like for example, you can see a plus, x, minus, I don't know, whatever all that is, but they have to fit together somehow, right? It's like when, for example, in a school, like in London, for example, like in Germany, and I don't know where you guys live, but here in Germany, you can dress however you want and go to school, right? And when you have to put everything together so that it fits, like in London, I think in London you have to wear a uniform, and that's how you want to make it. You want to transform all the different people or make them look like the same. But they look the same, but they all, like the personality and the appearance is different. But the appearance in general, like the clothing, is the same, right? And that's what you try to do in the transform stage. And then the next one is, of course, when you have everything structured together, you load it into a database of your choice. And remember, we learned about relational databases and NoSQL. And what we focus on is PostgreSQL, aka MySQL as well. So both are pretty similar, but Postgres is a little bit more dynamic, but both are actually almost the same. But you will notice the difference at one point when we work with both. And then when you have all the data loaded, like this is the last step, some people, and this is not your task anymore because we are focusing on automation and data engineering tasks, right? Or that's basically what I do. And then after that, those people come in who call themselves data analysts or data scientists, and they analyze the data and create those dashboards so other people actually can see that, and then they just give them actionable insights. So for example, they scraped all the members from the self-dev community here, and they figure out, oh, most of them are students, and they all are into tech, or like 70% are into tech, and they speak English. So if you want to target them with some marketing or some campaign, then you should give them a product or market a product which fits to the age, to the language, and to their interest. And that's what actionable insights are, what you will do. And that's basically what the ETL pipeline is. And yeah, just to cover the relational database, it basically just means that you have different items, or I don't know, let's call it a data which fits together, but they have some kind of connection to each other. For example, I live in a building, and my building has a house number, for example, house number 47 or something. And in this building, there live other people, right? So I can't say that I'm the only person who lives in this building, but other people are living in the same building. And that's why we have the connection that there's one building and there are many, many people. And that's basically what you want to achieve with a relational database. Okay, so just to get back to this one. Do you guys have any questions? Oh my God, who is this?
I have question.
Stop it. We don't merge Flutter here, or Swift 10x.
How do I write Python with Swift?
Look at this, guys. He's gone. Okay.
Quick answer, you don't.
Yeah, you don't.
No,
You
no.
don't. Yeah, you don't 10x. How about that?
Thank you for your answer, Long.
Yeah, no problem, man. Come back next time, man, if you have any question.
All right, I have another question.
No, just one question per day, man. 1 question per day. Imagine everybody asks 10 questions, man. Then we will never finish, right?
This is
The-
classroom, right? This is classroom, right?
Yes.
In classroom, that's right.
Yes, yes. But we can cover all your questions after the class, okay? How about that? Thank
No,
you.
I have
No,
questions
I
now.
don't accept no. I don't accept no. Have fun. Please sit down and listen, because now we are discussing how do we integrate databases into our ETL pipeline, right? Because it's easy to say, yeah, I need some data and extract it and then put it somehow. And before you actually do that, you need to think about a lot of things, right? And for example, we have this great opportunity that, if you can see that here, we have our Discord server. And as you can see here, we have the workspace, right? And in this workspace, we have a lot of people. Like all of you always come here and then you stay there and work, right? And right now I have this bot, for example. I don't know if it's here. Yeah, I think it's this one. Look at this. This is the bot which I created, and that's how you get the role. For example, when I go on Ali, you can see he has co-working, and also Toton also co-working. But if you go to, I don't know who's here. Somebody else here? Yeah, Marvin. He's not in co-working, and I hope my code did it correctly, so he doesn't have the co-working role. So let's click on it and see. And as you can see, he doesn't have it, so it's all fine, because it somehow said that he probably left it. Look at this. Marvin left the workspace at 1850 o'clock or whatever that is. And now the question is, or like the task is, like that's how everything starts for you. Like you have a task and then you build this ETL pipeline, or you build a tool. So you don't start the other way around and say, oh, I want to create something, but I don't know what, so I just create something which I don't understand, or I don't know what I actually need or want. And that's why we have this example now, that we have all the
Your
people.
camera just turned off.
Oh, my camera?
Yeah.
Oh no, why is my camera?
Was it just me? Is it just me, guys?
Let me check.
It quickly
Oh,
went
no.
off, but it's back on again.
Oh, it's back on again.
I have a
When
question,
Denak
Law.
switch his camera on.
Am I back or not?
Yeah, you are back.
Yeah, you're
You are
back. But there's some interference.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me just restart it again.
They call it Denak.
Turn off cam. Okay, stop it. Cam. Let me do it again. Like so. Bing. Start virtual cam. Can you see me now?
Yeah, it's back.
Oh
It's all
yeah.
good.
Okay, guys. So whenever you occur any issues, don't panic. Okay. I mean, not in this scenario, but in general. when you execute your code and then it doesn't work and you have some time pressure, don't panic. Never panic, because when you panic, it's the worst thing you can do to your brain. Okay. And man, Adam, now I see what kind of profile picture you have, man. That's avatar. Man, I always thought, what is that? But now I see. This one. All right. So, guys, that's the thing. The first task you have to ask yourself is, what kind of data do I have which somebody wants me to extract, right? And in this case, let's say we want to build, like, the first task is like, we go from the top down. So our task is, we want to have a ranking of all the members in the self-dev community, Discord community, based on the duration of their focus time or productivity, which means how long they have been online in the streaming channel. Streaming channel. Okay. So that's the task actually, right? Because in the beginning, I also discussed that with you guys and said, hey, we, for example, could build this tool so we can see how long everybody has been active on this server and how long they have been working. So for example, then you have a ranking where you can see, oh wow, Johnny has been, like here you can see Johnny, and then it says 512 hours, and then first hour was on the, I don't know, 4th of February 2002. And then you can see, oh wow, Johnny now has 512 hours. And then we have another person here, I don't know, who else do we have? We have Monet, and then he also has 3 hours, whatever that is, it doesn't matter. Oops. Boop. And then Monet has been here since 21 someday, I don't know, something like this. Just as an example, right? And that's what we also could build, for example. But if you want to build something like that, you need to figure out, okay, what kind of data do I need? And that's the first step. First, sit down, even take a piece of paper and write down what does the stakeholder, like the stakeholder is the person you work with who wants to get the data from you, or like your boss or your team lead or project management, it doesn't matter, but those people are called stakeholders. Stakeholders. So they basically hold the stake. Yes, that's how it is. And if they come to you, they want you to build something, like extract data from somewhere, and that's your task. So the first thing is that I go here and say, okay, they want it from Discord. So when I go here and I think, okay, maybe the best case is that they already have an example, right? And then they say, okay, look, I want to get the name, I want to get the duration, I want to get the starting date, and then, for example, I want their Discord ID, and what else can we get from them? Let me think about that. Of course, the ranking, like the rank, where they are at compared to the other people. And now you know, okay, those are the points, or this is the data which I need to get from Discord. And now when you look at it, oh, maybe you also need to get the roles, for example, because if you remember, each person has a lot of roles, and maybe your stakeholder also wants to get all of them. And that's the thing which you have to think about, because this process, it can take up to hours, because in this example, it's pretty easy because it's just Discord. You go here, okay, Discord, you just have a name, maybe you have this description here, maybe you want to get the image URL. I don't know, something like that. Or then, yeah, let's take it to this one. And now you have to ask yourself, okay, where and how do I get this data from, right? And you see we're still at the extract phase or stage. And now your question is, do we have everything? And now, in this case, you go back to this person, to stakeholder, and tell him or them, yo, is this correct that you want all of those information? And then maybe you create an example table and say, this is how it would look like. Like this example table here, where you, of course, have headers, and then you say name, duration or something, and then starting date or something. And then you tell them and ask, but for you right now, you won't have anybody who you can ask, hey, is this what you want? So that's why you need to ask, maybe you work with somebody together, and then you have to ask each other if this is what you want. But if you're alone, you know what your project is about, and then just do it by yourself, okay? And after this, you can start to think how to code that, because we don't have any real relations here, right? So they don't want anything else. That's why it's pretty easy. But imagine they also want to see, like, because if I go here, for example, to Rumi, I can go click on the profile, and then I can see the mutual servers. Can you see that, guys? I think you can see that. So we are in self-dev together and in Jam's Jamily, or mutual friends. We also have Albina as mutual friends. And now it gets interesting, because this is data which you don't see just like that. But it is something very valuable, which you can extract as well, because you can see it is clickable. That means you actually can get that. And now let's say this stakeholder then comes back to you because he's a bad project manager, and he's like, oh, by the way, I also want to see the relations between the different Discord servers, where they are in, you know? And that's why then you have to say, okay. Then I will say, I need the Discord servers and also the mutual friends. So, and now you see, for example, this whole information which you have here, how would I summarize or like give this whole group a name, a label? Like all those informations are just for one person, right? That's why I would say this is the table or like the group users. So you by yourself just created one table which you would create by yourself by thinking what kind of data do you want. And that's one of the important steps. And after that, they tell you, yo, I also need the Discord servers where they are in. But now you see, when I have a Discord server, right? So when you go here at the top, where is it? Server stats, for example. You can see we have different names for each server. So when you go here and say servers, then what are the properties which are different from server to server? Like, what is the difference between self-dev and, for example, a gaming server? And for those, you can think for yourself or just look at it, and that's your task. That's your challenge. You have to say, okay, the name could be different, the server ID could be different. What else do we have? The amount of users is different, or the average amount of online users also could be different. And then we have description. Oh, description. Is it this like this? Yeah, I think it's like that.
Would the roles also matter in this
Oh
case?
man, dude, why do you say this? This is so that gives us so much more work, man. But okay,
Oh,
you wanted
sorry.
that. Well, thank you, man.
No, just say it's wrong and then we leave it.
No,
I have a whole list as well, long. That
no. We will stop at this.
But I have suggestion now. I have no
Okay,
question, but
okay.
suggestion.
Tell me.
Well, I need to shower first.
What a cliffhanger, man. What a cliffhanger. Man. Okay. Then, of course, you can get the roles, and then you can get the creation date, or you can create the creation date. Actually, I have to stick to a format. So like this one. Because I can't, I have to do what I tell you guys as well, right? Then we have, for example, the founder's name. I don't know, man. You can have so many things, right? And then imagine you do the same for mutual friends. Like each friend which you have, like mutual friend, like each friend is a user, right? Here is a user. But this also is a connection. And I just wanted to show you that mutual friends, like those bold names here or tags, those could be tables which you create afterwards. Before, like after you scrape all the data. What is this? Why can't I track this? Hello? No, I can't do this. So I have to do it like this. Did you get it so far, guys? Or is something not clear until this point?
No questions so far?
Does it make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so those are like, now you just thought about it, what you want to do. And you see, we didn't even code anything yet, because that's the, how do you say it? pre-work you have to invest, so you save a lot of time. And now you see,
I actually have a question.
yeah,
When you're at this step, basically, is this interchangeable later on?
yes, of course, this is totally interchangeable. So what you are doing right now, this is like brainstorming, you know, like this is not fixed. You still can do whatever you want, because right now you didn't write any code, and if you did, you still can change it. It doesn't matter. Now it's just collecting all of that, because the more you research about that, the more you find out. And then you need to talk to your stakeholder and say, hey, did you also consider this kind of data which I found? And then they say, oh, no, but let me ask my my team lead or something. That's what happens most of the time, you know. And that's why you, as a data engineer, you are the master of the data. Like, you know what exists, you know what's happening, you know where to get something from. But they don't do. They just know, okay, Discord, yeah, there's some users, there's some servers, yeah, that's it. Okay, but they don't think beyond that, and they don't, and that's why they also can't figure out what kind of other complex issues could appear. And that's where you come in. And that's why, of course, it's totally interchangeable, so it's not fixed. And of course, what I'm doing right now, I always like to do that on paper or just using Miro right now, like what you can see here, the Miro page. But of course, there are tools where you can create those tables by yourself. And then you can make all those connections. But that's what we will do, I think, in the next class or something. But right now, it's more important that you actually understand the background why we do all of that. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Exactly. And now, I gave you a direction where how you could start to think how to extract the data which you want to get from Discord. But to do that, you first have to think, what do I really need and what do I want? Because, for example, we could continue all of that and we will never stop. And then we figure out, okay, we also could figure out like the messages. We can figure out when and how many messages does somebody have, because if you go to where is it? I think here at the top somewhere you can search for a username and then see what or how many messages they already have. And then you can make another step further and say, okay, what kind of data do we have? Like, how many pictures have been sent, how many GIFs, how many videos, how many links, what kind of links have been shared in the messages, you know? That's all the stuff which you could also consider. But that would just make the whole thing which we are doing here right now like turn into an endless class. That's why we don't want to do that. And now let me check the time. It's already almost done. That's why I want you to think about a project. Maybe also it could be this Python project where we extract the data from Discord and build this ranking, you know. But you can think about anything else, and it doesn't have to be a Discord server. It can be a web page, or even different. It could be, for example, it could be your fridge as well, because you could track what kind of milk do I buy, what kind of products do I buy, when do I normally restock it, all that stuff. But to do that, you also have to implement some kind of hardware tracking system, or you write it by hand. But I don't think you want to do that, you know. That's why I think about a project where you think you could get the data from or extract the data from. For me, the best example for you guys right now would be a web page, or for example some football game, football matches which you like, or weather data, or any sports game, or Discord. I don't know, it depends on your interest. And that's why find one of those topics and think of of some kind of database which you could create based on the data, which doesn't exist already. Okay, does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. What about the other guys? Tess and Adam, Afro Gods.
Yes.
Also Tess is yes. Monet, what about you?
Yes.
Okay. Afro, Adam, I don't know how far you guys are.
Just started the session.
So it's all fine.
Mm.
Okay. Right. All right. Then this will be the next homework for you right now if you already are at this stage where you can work with databases or something, because right now we're still very early in this whole database topic. I think Johnny, you will be the one who probably will write the first Python code for all of that, but it will still take some time, because I don't want you just to write some code and say, oh yeah, I wrote some data into the database, because you will do that anyway, right? But what I want you to do is to think, or like learn this process, this way of thinking before you actually start this project, because the more time you put into a project, like the pre-work, the less time you have to think about all the issues. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to discuss today as well. And now you got a feeling how we integrated databases into our ETL pipeline, right? Or is it still a little bit too unclear to you guys? Can you give me some feedback?
No, it's all clear. Very insightful.
Amazing. Perfect. Okay, here's another thing, guys. You see, this is the task, right? I mean, I wrote it myself, but if you find something where you think you want to get the data from, write down the task and the final output, what you actually want to have at the end. Write it down, because that way you know what you actually want to do. That's what, like, one of the most important things, because sometimes I have people who just come to me and say, hey Long, do you have some time? Oh yeah, sure. I have this web page here, can you scrap it for me? I'm currently busy or something, because it's not a meeting, I was just working. And then I say, yeah, of course I can. And then, of course, they have to send me an email or just have a meeting with me and tell me what they want. But what they do is they say, yeah, I will just send you the link. And then just send me the database when you're done. And I'm like, what? What do you even want from out of this web page? And then it turns out it's a huge database which has a lot of more links and data sources, and I don't even know what they want, right? And that's why write down your end goal of this task. What do you want to have at the end? What is the end result? How should it look like? The output. Like if you go into the weekly task for me, which I created for you, I often say, for example, here, you have a list and you have to do something like that, write a one-line code snippet, and then your output should be this. So you know what you want to have. And here I just gave some example how it should look like, but Johnny, he coded it exactly like this as well. Because I didn't say this is just the example and the actual output is this one, which is also totally fine, because that way he trained and practiced how to write the volumes and all this stuff, right? So no big issues about that. But yeah, that's basically it for today, guys. Thank you for joining. I hope it was insightful for you guys. If you have any questions, just ask me after this one, and also leave them in the discussion or question thread, And to you guys here, or for you, thank you for watching. And if you need some help on Python or anything which you're learning right now related to computer science, just leave it in the comments and ask us. We will help you. All right? And don't forget to like, subscribe, so you don't miss the next session where we actually create this database and scrape the data. So thank you for watching. Peace.